with Mike Cooper. Rebel fighters in Libya have been moving towards the capital from east and west following their big gains in recent days. The advance from the west was halted, at least temporarily, when hundreds of rebels met stiff resistance. A BBC correspondent says they came under heavy sniper and artillery fire in the town of Maya, 30 kilometres from the capital. The Libyan government spokesman, Musa Ibrahim, accused the rebels of not wanting democracy and human rights, but blood and revenge. Protests have continued for a second day outside the Israeli embassy in Cairo following the deaths of Egyptian troops in an Israeli operation against Palestinian militants. One demonstrator clambered up 14 stories to the top of the embassy and pulled down the Israeli flag, replacing it with an Egyptian one. An emergency meeting of the Arab League has condemned Israeli air attacks on the Gaza Strip and said the United Nations should take action to end the raids. A United Nations mission has arrived in Syria to assess the condition of its people as the government's armed forces continue to act against protesters. The delegation has been told it can visit all the trouble spots in the country. Police in Vietnam have broken up an anti-China demonstration in Hanoi after warning that the weekly protests would no longer be tolerated. About 30 protesters were bundled onto buses by plainclothes policemen. South Africa's Special Police Unit says it's investigating the youth leader of the governing African National Congress, Julius Malema, for possible fraud and corruption. A lobby group reported Mr. Malema to the police following news stories of alleged irregularities in his business interests. A national ceremony of remembrance has been taking place in the Norwegian capital Oslo for the victims of the massacres a month ago. King Harald said he felt for each person in the country, but that he was certain Norway would surmount its pain. A total of 27 people were killed in Oslo, and on the island of Utøya, a man has admitted the attacks and is being held in custody. BBC News.
And we'll keep in touch with the news in just under 25 minutes here on BBC World Service. But now we come to Heart and Soul.